And in Texas, there's new debate over what exactly constitutes personhood following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Brandy Batone was pulled over just last month and given a ticket for driving in the HOV lane, which is designed for 2 or more passengers, because she was allegedly alone. But she argues that her unborn baby should count as a second passenger, citing the state's penal code that recognizes a fetus as a person.
He starts peeking around. He's like, "Is it just you?" And I said, "No, there's 2 of us." And he's like, "Well, where's the other person?" And I went, "Right here."
Right there. NBC News reporter Callan Rosenblatt joins us now with a closer look at the details of the story. I mean, this story has fascinated a lot of people. This woman's driving. We all know how the HOV lane works, supposed to have a minimum of 2 people. When she says to the officers, "It's right here, I got a whole baby," what does the officer say to her?
Well, the officer said to her, in her words, "I'm not dealing with this. I am not touching this." He said, you know, when you're in an HOV lane, a carpool lane, you have to have a person outside of the body to count as a second person. But he basically told her, you know, you got to talk to the courts about this. I can't help you, you know, take this ticket, which is an over $200 ticket, and go argue it with the courts, which is now what she plans to do. But, you know, in her words, the officer basically said, "I wash my hands of this. You got to deal with this elsewhere."
Which is interesting, because I heard the Transportation Authority was trying to essentially say it's about seats. You have to have 2 people in 2 different seats. Now, you know, my family lives in Atlanta, and I know I've seen a lot of HOV lanes. Trust me, I've tried to use them, and I've never seen seats specified, but you do see people specified. So it's an interesting, you know, argument, rhetorical or otherwise. But what happens next in this case? I mean, what can she actually do?
Well, you know, legal experts are a little mixed about how the courts will handle this. She does say she plans to go to court. She plans to say, you know, under Texas law, you recognize an unborn child as a person. Now, some legal experts have also specified that the penal code says that, but the transportation code does not, or doesn't specify. So she plans to take this to court. She plans to use that argument. And some legal experts have said, you know, we're going to see arguments like this. It could set potentially a new precedent, but we'll see when she takes this ticket to court.
Speaking of that, I mean, I know that you're always in touch with all the social media, sort of even the feelings sometimes, the general sentiment that people express on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. What are people kind of saying about this case? Are they generally seeming like they're in support of her, or thinking this is, you know, a silly argument?
You know, I've seen responses. I've even gotten emails about people on both sides of that argument. Some saying this is very silly. You know, they don't agree with her. They don't think she's going to win this case. And others saying, you know what, if a government, you know, the state government is going to legislate a woman's body, use this argument. It's a good argument. And some people feel that, you know, this is a byproduct of this new law recognizing, you know, a fetus as a person in Texas.
Fascinating, and the way in which it affects our everyday lives.
Absolutely.
All right. Callan Rosenblatt, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
appreciate it, Callan.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.